This episode of Conspiracy of Ravens, a Raven Wing Limited podcast, is brought to you by ProTech Knives. ProTech is a family-owned company that has been building high-quality American knives since 1999. Described as the art of manufacturing excellence meets old-world craftsmanship, we are proud to have ProTech as a sponsor of Raven Wing Limited. This episode is also brought to you by Sabo Foundation. Sabo Foundation is a 501c3 charitable trust created with one goal in mind, to support our combat veterans and their transition to civilian life. To achieve that goal, the foundation supports our veterans by inspiring lifelong connections through participation in a variety of holistic, wellness, and therapeutic programs. Additionally, Sabo provides opportunities to improve their quality of life through housing and family assistance, leading to a sustained, balanced lifestyle. Sabo Foundation has earned the 2023 Platinum Seal of Transparency from Candid. Less than 3% of nonprofits registered with Candid are recognized with the Platinum Seal. A Platinum Seal status is the leading symbol of nonprofit transparency and accountability. We are humbled to have partnered with Sabo Foundation since our inception in 2019. I just like that JJ tried to sing Boys to Men.
Yes.
What's funny is I thought all Filipinos could sing. Apparently not.
Hey, but this man can run a go-kart. Synced it. Synced it.
Are we starting?
Are we on?
Yeah.
Is this?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
We're going. I'll say the quietest intro ever.
Yeah, I was like, this was. Well, even the music is
I
like
know.
down low. It's usually just like, "Bah, nah," and I'm like, hell yeah, I can't hear anything anyone's saying.
That's because you always tell me to turn yours down.
This is loud as shit.
I know. Hold on. That'll be better. That'll be better. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Conspiracy of Ravens, a Raven Wing Limited podcast. A little bit more? A little bit more?
No, dude, we come down to just a teensy bit. It's like,
Louder. Turn them
where's
shifts
Justin?
up.
oh, Jarrod yelling in my
Justin?
ears. No, now it's too quiet, bro. Just a little bit right there. Perfect. That's perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
We should have done this before. Guys, we're kind of excited. We have one of our favorite guests here, and this is going to be our first video recorded podcast.
Cameras.
So hopefully you can see us. We're kind of pumped up about that. If you can't already tell, which if you listen to us, you know who this is just by looking at him.
I didn't know we were on video.
That's a,
He's trying to get the baseballs up.
I would have done some pull-ups.
It's over there.
I would have done. JJ started the day telling people, he's like, yeah, one time I could only do like 26 pull-ups. Just flexing on the whole class. I loved it.
6. I said 6.
You did say 6.
I did say 6.
Yeah, but you also called me Mo 26 times too. So
I did that today.
awesome. So everybody, welcome back. We're glad to have you. We've got the world champ JJ.racaza here with us, man. We are so excited you're back, brother. We're so excited you're back.
I like it.
Yeah, man. We're learning.
I
It
see
is
it.
a DJ board. I'm learning how to push buttons.
What's up, guys?
Finally.
I'll talk to you guys afterwards. Pretend there's a crowd.
There you go. Love it. Love it. All right. So you guys know we'll have plenty of questions for JJ, but
Tell us about going to jail.
What?
in an airport. That's what we really want to know.
What? What happened?
2018?
Yeah.
Or 2000?
Oh, this wasn't. Oh,
Which
okay.
one?
No.
Oh, wait, is that
You
the
started-
twice?
No. So
This was the one you
four
didn't tell us
Yeah, the one that I
yesterday.
told you not to tell us when we were hanging out.
Oh,
after,
so
after-
you guys
yeah,
compared
yeah.
the 2002 one, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. So
In the microphone.
oh, so
Yeah, in the
Ethan,
microphone.
I'm looking at Ethan. And he's like, "What the hell's going on?" Is that twice? So
Well, they already know the story?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we told him to save
Yeah,
it for the podcast.
they're right there.
Yeah.
They're right there.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up?
So, 2018, we go to Far East Asia Asian Championship, which is hosted in Thailand, and it was an important match because Thailand was going to be the World Championship the year after, I believe, 2020. It was going to happen 2020, I think. I'm sorry, that was 2019, right? So 2019 and the year later was going to happen. World Ship was going to be there. So I wanted a preview of how they set up the match and how the area felt and kind of get a scope, right? Like a heads up. What is that called? A reconnaissance kind of thing,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So so kind of get a feel for their competition and all that stuff. So on the way there, it was all very kind of chaotic, somewhat. No one really talked to anyone. Airlines didn't talk to different countries, and so there were a bunch of my students at the time that went with me. There were 12 of us, 13 of us total. And so guys were getting left behind because they brought ammo through Korea and guns and stuff like that. And I had the same issue, but ended up getting away, right? Some people missed their flights and all that stuff. So anyway, on the way back, they were like, don't bring any ammo. Don't check in ammo. That's a bad thing for Thailand. Just bring your guns and leave us the ammo. And I think we were thinking like that's a ploy for them to just kind of grab our ammo because ammo is expensive.
But get plus up like 5,000 rounds and shit.
Yeah, I had 38 Super at the time. That's expensive ammo right there.
Yeah.
They're carrying that over there.
And this is 2018 prices. So if this was code.
Yeah, it's pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
So everything was times 12 the cost?
So all that said, on the way back, the whole match, I'm like, man, why am I running short on ammo? And my dad's like, we don't know. Where's this? I'm like, there's another box. And I marked all my boxes. Number 5 is gone. So we didn't know. We moved on. I think I went out there and taught a couple things and worked a little bit more over there, I think a week after the match. So I'm like one of the few to leave now, right? Everyone had left. The competition's done. I'm like a week later, I leave Thailand. Checking in and all that stuff. Everyone's like, hey, no guns, no bullets, no bullets. Nothing, no. Double checked it, triple checked my luggage. My dad doesn't carry any bullets, so he doesn't have anything. All right, sounds good. We go to the security area where you check in for TSA, their version of TSA. And all of a sudden, sure enough, I get in. My dad's right behind me. He gets in, and the girl grabs his bag, and he goes, "Is this yours?" Like, yep, that's mine. I'm like, wonder what he's got in there. Probably one of his. He likes to carry like small scissors and stuff like that. It's probably one of those. Sure enough, they go, "Is this yours?" It's the whole box of ammo.
Oh, no.
Shit. Number 5.
Yeah, number 5?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It pops.
It's like, how bad is this going to be? And I look at my dad. I'm like, my dad goes, "That's not mine." I'm like,
oh, no. The classic line. I don't know whose that is.
That's not mine. And he goes,
That's his?
I don't
Did he
shoot
turn around
guns.
and point at you?
He goes, "I don't shoot guns." He goes, "I shoot camera. Look, I shoot camera." And the girl goes, "No." He goes, no. If you don't, I don't need it. We don't need it. He doesn't need it. That's his.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And he goes, "You can throw it away. Throw it in garbage or something like that." And the girl goes, "No, I call police." Like, just like that. That was like her own broken version of English. And she was like, "I call police." And I'm like, gosh, this is bad. And so they immediately grabbed my dad. And luckily, this whole mess was happening in front of me. They grab him and they bring him behind me. And there's like a booth here where there's other like official agents sitting down. And they kind of bring him into a booth. And I'm sitting down. A typical TSA gets set up, right? I guess like the cage, whatever. But they just had tables here right behind us, kind of separating him. And so I'm sitting there, and I look back, and my dad's filling out paperwork. He's like, "Hey, what do I do?" And I'm like, this is not a good look. Everyone told us not to bring ammo. Not only did we not check in ammo, we freaking brought it into the sensitive area. This is really a bad look. So trying to calculate, and I had a few other people and friends with me looking at them. I'm like, "Go ahead, I'll see you guys in there." And they're like, "No, you need to go." This girl's like trying to move me along. I'm like, "No, I'm gonna stay with my dad. I'm not leaving him." And then they were like, "Well, no, you need to go. And they're pushing me around. So I kind of like slid in my way. It's like, I got to pick this up. I grabbed this from my dad. And as soon as I went to go grab his backpack, I grabbed him in the wrist and I said, "You go." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, I forced him up as hard as I could. And he got up and I gave him his passport and I threw my passport on the table and I said, "You go." And he starts to walk towards the passport check-in and I sit down in the chair. And they were like, "You?" And the guy didn't deal with me. The guy sits back down. The girl was dealing with all that mess. My dad walks through behind her. He goes through the sensitive security area. He doesn't want to go, but they're pushing him. And so I'm sitting there now looking at this guy, the police officer that they called. And so like, give passport, and they're writing my name. And they already kind of partially wrote it. It said Joseph Racaza. And they looked at my name and they said, oh, they scratched it out and they put Simon Joseph Racaza, because that's my real name, Simon Joseph Racaza. So now I'm filling out this paperwork, this and that, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, "Oh, you going, you're going to get arrested, basically, and that's one form or another." I'm getting up, and they kind of start to put cuffs on me. I said, "Listen, I won't run. If you guys don't understand me, I'll follow you wherever you need to go. I just don't feel like being cuffed all the way out there." It's like, "We'll hold you." So they held me, literally, like hands behind my back. They held me walking out of the station, walking out of the sensitive area as I walk past the other passengers. As soon as I walk out, there's this guy, happens to be on a Segway. And I guess he was like the big boss, right? So this is like the decision that happened, and luckily it was me. So the the guy comes over, and then everyone's like saluting him. Like they let go of me to stand still and salute. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'll salute too, right? So do I want to respect this guy? I don't know. I don't want to piss anyone off anymore. I'm in bad shape right now. And I'm like, man, how bad is this? Do I need a lawyer? And man, my dad's about to jump in his flight. I don't know if he's actually going to jump in it. And I don't think he will. And I had my friend Jamie Villamore there, and she was sitting there with my dad, like, do we jump in the flight? Do we not? Then there was another kid there, Kevin Spencer Stein. He was a good shooter as well. There were a bunch of other shooters there with me. And then anyway, I get outside, and this guy in a Segway looks at me in passing, kind of waves and kind of salutes, recognizes the other cops, and then stops. Like he almost falls on his Segway and looks at me and he goes, "Champion," because I had won Far East Asia, and I said, "Oh my God, this might be my saving grace." He knows me. He stops over and he has like this media people following him. And he's like, photo. So he comes over and puts his arms around me. And the two police officers doesn't recognize me, obviously. But he recognizes me because he got invited to the award ceremony and all that stuff. So he puts his arm around me. Wow. And the police officer's like kind of standing like, oh, I don't know why he wants to take a picture.
Was he supposed to have these bullets? Was he protecting the plane?
Having a good time. They're like, everyone's laughing. Picture. He shakes my hand, picture. And they're doing all these photos. And there's just the media group. There's like 3 or 4 of them just flashing away. And I'm like, this is good. And he's like, and he starts talking like, why, whatever. And then in Thai, and I don't understand anything. And they talk, and I can hear him like bullets and stuff like that. He looks at me, he goes, no. It's like very, very bad. And I'm like, gosh, damn. I'm like, all right, no, I know. I was like, I don't know what to do. He's like, whose bullet is it? I was like, my bullet. It's my shooting bullet. He's like, where is it? He grabs it, and he's like, this one is yours? I'm like, yeah. He goes, very bad, very bad. And I'm like, I know, got it. What do I do? And he's like, follow me. And so he gets on a Segway. I follow him. And police officers, I'm like, they don't know what to do with me. Like, they just follow me.
Who's this fucking guy? What the hell?
Anymore, right? So I get downstairs. He goes, sit in my office. And I sit in his office. And he's like really broken English. But like basically, I sit in his office. He goes out there and does a little bit more media stuff. I don't know what was going on. And then he comes back and he's like, passport. I said, okay, here's my passport. And then he goes, all right, sign this paper, and comes back with paper saying like, hey, you admit guilt in English. Like it's like somewhat in English. Mm-hmm. It's like you admit guilt. You brought illegal firearm ammo, and you are going to sign this and recognize that you're thing, and this is you broke the rules. And I'm like, I'm not gonna sign this. I can't sign this. This is literally admitting guilt. Like, is there a way we can delay this or something? And he was like, no, sign it. He goes, sign it. And he's looking at me all strict now. All of a sudden, like I can tell like why he's the boss. Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't mess around. Like, man, the joyous person I just saw earlier is no longer that. Now he's like
cameras were off.
Strict, yeah. And I'm like, oh man. So I'd sit down and I'm like, he goes, sign. And I'm like, So I signed JJ.racaza instead of Simon. So I was like, at least that's not an official signature. So I kind of just did something else. He goes, very good. He puts it on his desk, puts it aside, and he goes, I'm going to go grab your passport, sit. And he goes, not good. And he walks away. I'm like, gosh, man, it's like, this is not good. I don't know what's going on. He comes back with my passport with a piece of paper, and he grabs that paper that I just signed, and he goes, good, we're okay. And he rips it up and throws it in the garbage. And I was like, what just happened?
What?
And he looks at me and he goes, your flight, you're not going to make it. Like, I'm like, man, and like in broken English, but he's basically telling me I'm not going to make it. I'm like, I got an hour or 30 or 40 minutes before I get to my flight. I didn't realize the freaking gate is like 3 miles.
Oh shit!
Like we're down in the dungeons of the airport, right? Right, and I gotta go up there, and he's like, so he takes 5 security officers. He goes, and he goes, escort him through the security center. But he goes, you have to run. And he shoves the passport in my chest.
He didn't give you the segue?
I would have busted my ass. and for those of you guys
with
that
the
know,
siren just through the fucking...
JJ.racaza, step aside.
It's like, those are guys that you guys know when you travel. I always have a backpack on me. The backpack is full of like all my clothes. I don't put it in my bag or anything like that. So I have this big backpack. And they're like, run. So I'm like, all right, I guess just shuffle, right? Like maintain a shuffle. I don't know how far this thing is. Yeah. I'm just going to run a consistent pace. I'm running. And then we get to stairs. We take the stairs up, and there's 5 of them guys following me, and the security guards all like literally escorting me in like a pretty good pace. We get through the security. They said, hey, this guy. And the girl looks at me, and she goes, no. Like immediately. She goes, no. It goes, police. And I'm like, I'm with the police, but the police guys didn't go through the sensitive security because they have all their weapons on them.
Right, yeah.
They said, put me in the front of the line. They let me go through by myself, and then they all ran around to the passport side. So they said they'll meet me there. That girl wouldn't let me through because she saw me as the guy that had a bullet.
Yeah.
No, police. I call police. I'm like, lady, the police is over here. And so now I'm sitting there again, like delayed. And they called another set of police officers. And I'm like,
what? Different guys?
Different guys comes in.
Like Groundhog Day.
And they're sitting on the other side. They're like, how come this guy hasn't popped out yet? So I'm like, I'm telling them like, hey, dude, if we walk over here, there's another 5 guys waiting for me on the other side. They didn't understand. They're like, no, you stay here and then fill out this paper. I'm like, I just filled this paperwork out.
Oh, my
like,
God.
They're like, yeah, she said you have bullets. I'm like, where's the bullets?
Yeah, now you're like, where are they?
The freaking boss has the bullets. I know that's in his office, but I'm like, you guys got nothing on me. And they're like, well, no. He goes, police. And then the other guys was like, hey, and then talk to him. And they were like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I think they must have said whatever happened. And I'm like, oh, okay, so let me through. They line
now
up.
you got 10 escorts.
So I get down there, I get through, I get 5 guys with me, right? So I start running again. They said this way. So I run this way, running this way. And now I'm looking at my clock. Let's just say my flight was leaving at 10 a.m. It's now like 9:30, right? So I'm running and chugging. And this, I think they let me go around 8:30, whatever. But it took us a while to like run, like an hour of running and stopping. And then so I run. I get to running, and the guy with one guy goes, takes the 2 guys, grabs the passport, gives it to the one guy. So 2 guys, as soon as they did that, they passed it. 2 guys dropped off and just hovered over like they were done. They didn't want to run anymore. They said, we don't need 5 guys following this jackass. So they like let go of 3 guys, right? So 3 guys and me. And I'm running and I'm like, give me that passport. They're like, no, we hold the passport. I'm like, give me that passport so I can just run faster. I don't know how far. I don't see gates. I don't see numbers. And I saw it said gate 1. Gate 1 is the last gate.
What do you
Of course.
Like 57
Fucking
right now?
of course.
Like,
Oh my
holy
God,
smokes.
dude.
So I'm running. And then all of a sudden I can hear the flight number said last call. This flight number, make it to gate 1. I'm like, oh my God, that's my flight. So I run harder. And then they start falling off. And one guy like literally jumps, throws the passport to the next 2 guys.
Fucking baton in
And the one guy, as soon as the guy receives it, he
got a relay race.
right? And then he gets it, and he's like, what? And then they're like, go. And I'm like, you better come with me because I'm not stopping. So I start running. He starts chasing me. So a guy, like literally standing in the hallway, was trying to stop me because he thought the cops were chasing me. I'm like, God. I'm like, dude, get off me. And he's like, no, the cop. And the cop was like, no, go. And he's like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So we both run. So he was confused as I was, right? So I run, and we're running, and finally I see a gate agent, one of the gate agents with my flight number. I'm like, oh, I'm here because he's got the gate pointing this way, my flight number. I'm like, all right. So I grab the passport. I look over and I start slowing down. I'm like dying of, I can't catch my breath. And he's like, she goes, run. I look down and I go, that's a deep ass hallway. Like, how much further do I need to go? So I start running again. And then another lady with the sign, I'm like, oh, you're it. She goes, no, you have to go. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, so I get to the 3rd person checking in, right? There's no one police at this point. I look back, there's no one inside.
Yeah, wait. You have your passport?
I have.
Okay, you got it from
your
your
piece of paper behind it. I have no idea what that paper says. But I have a paper behind it and my passport. I'm like, I know these 2 are important. I'm holding on. So I'm running and I'm drenched in sweat. And finally, by the 3rd person, now it has my name printed or written in paper on pen with my flight number. And I'm like, you got to be it. You're going to walk me in. He's like, no, run again. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, no. So I run and I look up and finally I see like gate 8. And I'm like, oh my God, I got 8 more gates. I'm running and I can see my dad standing there and they're like trying to pull him. And Jamie and Spencer. Spencer was just at the gate. I could see Jamie with my dad, and Jamie's like screaming at the gate agent because they're yelling at him. And she's like, no. And she pretended like to be my husband. She's like, I'm not leaving my husband. Yeah.
Your husband. Not your wife, but your husband.
She was pretending to be my wife. Nowadays, we can pretend to be whoever we want.
Yeah, exactly.
Neither here nor there. Let's not get into that. So anyway, she was like, that's my husband. I'm not leaving him. And so they're like, I can see them arguing. But she told me like what she was saying later on. But I'm running back, and finally I get to them, and I can see my dad point to me, and she points to me, and then they're like, all right. So they're like, the gate agents are like jumping, hurry up. I'm like, what do you think I'm freaking doing?
Yeah, all fucking out of breath and
it's
shit.
literally one of those
Oh my
things that I'm
God.
like, I can't breathe anymore, but I can't stop moving.
Yeah, you
either.
just
Like,
gotta
I
go.
just gotta keep moving forward. And this bag is just so heavy at this point. My legs are jello, my knees hurt, everything. And I'm like, oh my God. So finally I get there, and as soon as I get there, I stop to walk up to her. She like pulls me and like catapults me into
Yeah.
the freaking jet.
You got no time for this bullshit.
And I'm like, what the hell? And Jamie's like, all right, we made it. And they're like closing the door behind us. And they push us, they make us run through. And literally, as I get on the plane, before I even get my bag, they get to our seat. They like rush us to our seat. Before we get to sit down, the plane starts pulling out. I guess the plane
Wow,
literally
bro.
is pulling up while we're still standing up. And I'm like, I know this is not legal. They're like, hurry up the bag. We'll just grab your bag and then throw it up in somewhere. And then I got on the plane and literally made it. And I was sweating. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm so hot right now and I'm drenched and this is going to be a nasty long flight. I was like, I could care less. Since they just had me standing up, I'm going to get up. I'm going to find my bag. I'm going to take my shirt off and change in front of everyone else. Took my shirt off and everyone was like, stop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, I'm not sitting up. Grab my
Too
bag.
late. You already had
Yeah.
your chance to arrest me, bitch. You fucked up.
grab my shirt, took a clothes and change, and they were like, oh, whatever. So that was like, that was the story of me kind of getting arrested in Thailand.
Oh my God,
Someone
dude.
got saved because I decided
You
to
won.
replace my dad. Yeah, and because I won. Like,
Yeah.
that was one instance that
Oh my God.
being a champion actually helped. Like, that was bad. And then my dad at that point looked at me. He's like, man, you were willing to take that? I said, man, Dad, I tell you, I was like, I would have been a badass Muay Thai fighter out of that jail. That's all I was thinking. I was like, I'm going to make my time worthwhile if I'm there. No matter how long it is, I'm going to
Go
train.
inside and get you into the kumite and shit.
They're going to call me Naksuka by the time I
The
get out.
white warrior and shit.
Oh, that's good
Yeah,
stuff.
so that was
That
it.
is nuts.
That
That's
was
a
a
crazy
crazy
story.
story. 100%
Jinx,
crazy.
right there, bro. Fuck.
So the other 3 times.
Yeah.
The other time was Mike Seeklander got involved, and that was 2002. But anyway, we can go into that later.
Appreciate you sharing, champ, man. You've been all over the place. You did a little bit of traveling for matches, and you and I were talking about this on the way home, right?
Yeah.
So you're learning to live on the road. I know you guys are
Quite a
looking to
bit.
change that, but how many classes this year?
I don't know. I think we calculated roughly about 80.
That's
a
crazy.
lot.
80 classes
Yeah,
this
that's a
year.
lot.
Yep.
Nice.
That's
Yep.
a lot for one person to handle. That's just a lot. We divided it by what hotel stays I have.
Yeah.
And I'm right now about 160 plus without the Airbnbs and without staying with friends and without all these other private ranches that I stayed at. It's a lot. It's a look back at it. I'm like, it was a great year in regards to that, and that was what we wanted to do. And that's actually what I wanted to do. And that was the plan, is teach and only shoot nationals this year. But the problem with that is my performance essentially throughout the year suffered. Like, I had some ammo issue, I had some gun issue. Then eventually I was able to pull it together near the end there, but still not quite the results I wanted. I got second in production, and I think production nationals was like the first match I actually sort of finished. CO I finished, but I had that really big,
The squib.
yeah, which sucks, right?
man.
It's just a rough thing. But I wasn't doing as well as I needed to, but I think I would have been doing okay at the end there anyway. But with that said, production and IDPA, I was able to place behind Neil, so it was actually cool to see that we went at it and had a good fight going all the way to the end there, and then so it was a better end at the year, and I was able to kind of somewhat salvage it, as crazy as it is. But with that kind of up tempo of teaching and traveling back and forth, you don't necessarily get to develop. You're just kind of holding on for whatever skill set you had left over. And so there's a lot of things that fall apart. Like when one thing I was just texting my friend, I was saying that one side of the things are going really well, other things of the balances starts to fall off a little bit. Like right now, good thing I have a solid relationship, my wife and my family, my kids. That helps a ton. And but the problem is, it's like the other aspect. Me as a competitor is like the other aspect that I'm
Right.
failing a little bit. Somewhat my social media, I've fallen. I didn't get to post as much this year because I was so busy training up and stuff like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. A lot of time on the road, a lot of students. But so I know those of us who've taken your class and those of you get out, we appreciate it, right? And as family men, we all appreciate the time away from it too. But
Thank you.
So we just wrapped up the first of 2
Yeah.
back-to-back classes with JJ here in SoCal. It was a good class, man. And here's my favorite thing about a JJ class. And so, of course, I got to do a little capitalism. You better go sign up because I think he's going to cut back a little bit next year. But I think we get them on the schedule. So it's every year in December. You better go sign up now is my whole point. You better go sign up right now.
Unless it's too late already.
But JJ's curriculum always continues to evolve. Is that a product of sort of where you're training and where your head's at? Or is that more just as you see how it syncs with students? Like, help us understand that a little bit.
So, yeah, a lot of it is every time I teach, the feedback from students, the conversation I have with students, my own thoughts and process, and my own self-development because I'm still developing, and then my results and matches. There's certain things I'm like, I wish I can do this better. Studying my certain students' video, studying some of the things I see on Instagram and breaking those things down and go, how can I communicate that better? So constantly asking myself questions and going, what can I do different? What can I do better? How can I make this particular technique better? And stuff like that is basically the reason why it's constantly evolving. And every class I teach, I feel like I get better because sometimes certain students, the way I teach, I do like an instructor type setting where you become an instructor for me. And I will get to watch you instruct, and sometimes you'll verbalize it or communicate it slightly differently. And I go, man, I like the way they communicated that, so I'm going to take that and make it better and take a side note on myself. And then I'll start the process and polish that a little bit and kind of essentially do better.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, with 5 years hosting you now, right? Dude,
Yeah.
I was telling Jarrod, I was like, dude, it's crazy that every year that we see him here, it almost feels like the course is entirely different.
Right.
Even though you cover the same stuff, I'm like, dude, I don't know if we host anybody else that we've just seen every year that it evolves into something else. Where it's like, what the fuck? You didn't talk about none of this shit last year. Like, when I took that shit 5 years ago, I was like, hey, man, what's the fuck? That was some bullshit. I got gypped.
I turned around and walked back to Mo after your trigger prep session. I was like,
yeah, we stealing that shit for sure. Fuck that.
That was simplified and super easy to understand. Like, damn. So,
What?
Yeah, that shit was awesome.
Oh, you'll probably experience a different version fucking tomorrow. And she's like,
I
what the
guess.
fuck? Did you change it again?
But here's the thing. To this class particularly, we had 4 guys that have taken it, 5 guys that have taken it several times, maybe at least 3 to 4 times into it. And then 3 of those 4 guys, maybe 4 of those 4 guys also instruct at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I ran it slightly differently. I taught a little bit more on the IDC aspect of it. And that's why you heard John was like, holy cow, because me taking this class and not thinking about the instructor aspect, they didn't realize how much it helps me as a
Absolutely.
in terms of growth. And then secondly, he was making the comments like, no one's ever described on how to study and relate my shooting and how to improve and where the holes are through my timer, how to tie in the transitions to my splits and how to read that, how to make that connection a little better. And once you describe that, people get to go and go, like accelerator, deceleration drill, you start to go, oh, this is where I'm missing. This is where my max potential is, but this is where my current status. What if I shoot this way? What are my results and stuff like that? And then so marrying up the split versus your transition was a big thing for me to be able to share that in this class because that's a lot of what I use when I'm studying my own self or when I'm studying other people's shooting and stuff like that. So there was certain things that I added, and I was heavy on movement in this class. Goodness gracious, it was usually the first day is just shooting, and the second day is a lot of movement. This time around, like by the afternoon of the first day, I was into the movement and just dove deeper and deeper and kept adding. And then it was a good class. And everyone was able to accept it, yeah.
Yep. My knees know about the movement today. I showed up this morning and I forget what it's called. He'll
remind it. We got to do
I don't know.
The voodoo bands.
Voodoo bands.
Yeah.
So, but I couldn't remember what it was called. So we're standing around the end of the class. I'm like, hey, we doing that like smoky ninja thing when we get back to and Jamie's like, what the heck are you talking about?
What guy is he saying?
Yeah, voodoo bands. No, a lot
Smoky
of movement.
Ninja.
It was
Hell yeah.
It's called now. It's the Smoky Ninja Band.
We got to find a T-shirt. Like we got to figure out a way to incorporate that shit.
No. The phrase was, shit, I better order another plate before I get full.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I'm going to jump all over the place tonight, but Mo's quip there. So 80 classes on the road. That's a lot of time traveling. So, man, do you have a city that has the best food?
Yeah.
Because I can't think of a better person to ask than
dude.
JJ.
People that don't
Golly, let me tell you about this place and this place.
yeah, for most people that don't know, food drives me to food and cars, I guess. Motivates me to want to do better. If I can get a nicer car, if I do well, I'm gonna go try to do well. If I can eat and stuff like that. But anyway, LA is one of the best places. For both, I look at it as both a shooting location and and food place. LA is one of the best in regards to combining the two worlds. LA is really busy. I could stay here for a month and pretty much probably fill up the entire month, right? Which is crazy. I had 4 other classes that Jess said no to for this particular area. I told her to just say yes to everything, and she was like, no. She goes, let me show you your schedule. She goes, you're going to be there for 3 weeks already. She goes, I need you back home. And I'm like, holy smokes, 3 weeks? I was like, let us not add any more classes on there. So I had 4 more classes here, possibly 6. I think because there are 2 more private classes that wanted to jump in last minute.
Okay.
And so, so it was, and I've been here for what? I think since 27th or something like that. So
November.
Bro, you've been here already that long?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, dude, he was down
that's
in
right.
San Diego, then he was up in Riverside,
Yeah.
then he was with Gabe and them, and then he's with us. Oh, then he was with Howitzer for a day, then he was with us,
Yeah.
Damn, bro. You are a busy man.
Long time, yeah. But it's good. Here, probably gained 10 pounds.
Based off the photos you showed us, bro.
Yeah. 10 pounds in 3 days, I think, because of Mo.
Because of me, motherfucker, I had to work out extra hard just to eat with you, bro.
I know.
Dude, the whole chat was like, "Oh man, I'm fucking scared to eat with JJ, bro." Like,
Dude,
fuck, man,
for real,
I'm like
I've been
seriously
like,
scared, bro.
Oh man, because I'm gonna have to take this heartburn medication like days before JJ shows up.
I keep telling people eating with JJ is a contact sport, bro. Like you gotta understand me. This shit not.
There's 2.
Damn near killed him and shit one time.
Twice. True.
No, that's true.
Oh, the other time. Okay.
No, there's 2 sets of initials or acronyms that scare me to death, and in a combination, they are JJ and AYCE. Doesn't work, man.
So I know we're supposed to eat
into my heart.
the Filipino buffet and artesian and shit, and Jared was like, "Fuck." I was like, part of me was like, "Oh man,
Mo, I'm gonna be sick."
Thank God the reservations is full. Like, fuck, bro.
Disappointed, but I'm also excited for the replacement.
Yes.
Korean fried chicken.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I waited
Or as just Wesley calls it, fried chicken.
So yeah, I think LA shooting and food location here. There's a lot of different ranges, a lot of different good shooters here, and a lot of different selections of food. Like I won't run out of food selections here.
When we went to go eat sushi, was it on Sunday,
yeah.
You know, we're walking down on Main Street, like across the street from Grill and Mall. Jay was like, "Oh, that place looks good. They got hamburgers there. Oh man, I can do that right now."
Take this man to Grill Mall? You didn't?
He wanted to, but I think he wanted sushi.
This place is insane.
The burger place I was telling you about, the crazy burgers and shit. Yeah.
Really, really good burgers.
I guess I'll be willing to do that. Sure.
He's
I mean, you're probably hungry in an hour and want to go or some shit.
It was crazy. I think Monday, was it Monday or Sunday? Monday, I think. What's today?
You talking about Hawaiian barbecue?
Today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday. Yesterday.
Monday, I broke myself, wasn't it? Or no, it was Sunday.
It was Sunday.
It was Sunday at the Hawaiian place.
So we had Hawaiian barbecue. You had 3 dishes.
Saturday, we had sushi.
Yeah, Saturday we had sushi.
Hawaiian
All-you-can
joint.
sushi.
Yeah,
3 dishes at a Hawaiian joint. I mean, these serving sizes, they're for the Usos, bro.
But no,
like-
and I didn't think of that.
Plates are like this fucking.
We're talking about dudes that make me look small. Be eating those plate lunches.
You had what was it like eggs? It was eggs
Loco
or something
Moco.
else.
Yep.
The loco moco and eggs, and then you had a char siu and
shrimp.
rice,
Yep,
and then you had a
garlic
bowl of garlic shrimp.
Yep.
Came back. We got back here like around 4 o'clock.
6,000 calories.
He fucking sleeps for an hour and a half, wakes up, and then goes to eat with Bo Wang.
It's amazing food too. And I got
And he comes back and he's like, "Oh, fucked up. I think I overdid it." I was like, "What?" He barely makes it up the stairs. He's like, "Oh, this is pain in my side. I don't know what it is." I was like, "JJ, it's called being full." He's like,
never felt
"What
this
that is?"
before.
I don't know. And you had some wine, right? Because I know you don't usually drink, and I think that's what probably fucked you up.
thought it would help, but it didn't. But yeah, LA is definitely number 1 on that, I would say. In terms of other place, I would probably say Houston would be the next place. Houston or Dallas, I guess that would be close. Kind of Texas, I guess, per se, instead of just saying that. But specifically, Houston or Dallas, they have really good food and like location. But over there, it's like could be too far away, right? Like an hour drive. Over here, it's like everything's 30 minutes. Like I can drive in 30 minutes. I just hate the freaking traffic.
4 or 5 places.
Oh, man. I'll never forget that. Like I think it was maybe like the second year that you came out with us, and you were like, "Ethan, I'm like, yeah, what's up, JJ? He's like, and I'm like, he's in the rental car and he comes over there. He's like, we just finished class. He's like, where's the nearest Jollibee?
Yeah, here there's no near one. I gotta drive 20 minutes.
There's now. There is
Oh,
now.
there is
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
I ran into the headquarters one time.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
the headquarters
but
is in
that's
Walnut.
not
Yeah.
where they cook food.
There's a Jollibee maybe 10, 15 minutes from here.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, so yeah, there's just so many different places, but yeah, definitely those two places would be. I guess Vegas. I guess would fall in there too.
Vegas.
But
Yeah,
Vegas, I consider like my part home, so
Yeah.
that's not a place that I used to travel. Right, it was like where I lived, so it's kind of one of those that I kind of forget that. So I would say Vegas and Cali would tie that, and then Texas would be third or second, whatever, however you want to look at that. So that's how if you want. Those
Hey
are
man, we've been training
places.
for SHOT Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what? I'm fucking terrified of SHOT Show too.
Me too.
Terrified of this man coming here to eat. Terrified of SHOT Show eat. Because that's.
I
it's
mean,
just
so
Most hit
blow
list.
my
Oh
goddamn
yeah, dude,
mind.
I have a
dude.
straight hit list of food places for SHOT Show, dude. I mean, at least we're not eating with JJ all the time. Like we may be able to
Yeah.
eat them Monday, like because
Eat
he wanted to go to
normally.
Sayulitas for the giant burritos. But then other than that, he's too busy, man. Like
Yeah.
we see him for like 5 minutes on the floor, and then that's it.
It's a great time SHOT Show for sure.
Yeah. We spent, and I asked this question because JJ hinted at it, motivated by food. We've talked a little bit about your past before, but it's kind of funny. They're just moments with you and food that I think will stick with all of us that get a chance to interact with you. So I got a chance to shoot IDPA Worlds with you this year. So we'll talk a little bit about that match too. Why we always end up talking about IDPA? Like of all, it's good.
I like IDPA.
So team JJ and Team Beretta were going out. They invited the guys who shoot for Langdon to come with them, which was awesome. We'll be redheaded stepchilds for a free meal. Heck yeah, man. So we tagged along. We go-kart racing, which I know JJ is competitive, right? I had no idea how competitive he was in go-kart racing.
Yeah.
I'm learning there is nothing but winning or losing with JJ, right? You
telling
there's
me- Game first and
nothing
last.
but winning or losing.
You telling me that
So-
you fit into a go-kart?
Yeah, I
know.
was like,
I was
you
like,
mean
no.
a car?
I was like, we started. I was like, nah, I don't want to do this. They're like, no, you fit. So as I bruised my eyebrows with my knees, and I'm in the car, and everybody's lapping me because the car's like,
Bro, you looking like fucking Donkey Kong in this motherfucker.
it was like
Bowser.
It was like, yeah, Bowser. Bro, it was Shrek in a Volkswagen. It was terrible. So, but we're waiting to walk into the place, and everybody's ready to go. We all waiting on JJ standing at the door to finish his fast food burger.
That's
He
right.
walked in, and the lady goes, "You can't come in here with that." And I turned around like, "Oh man, what happened?" You know, JJ just got Burger King.
I was hungry.
Takes 3 steps outside, finish eating those. I
Down
love it. Yeah,
throw
it
it
was
out.
great.
Yeah.
It was
There's food for sure. But
Yeah,
most people don't know that. They always want to say, "Oh, I'm good. I raced this all my life. I did this." To get in that go kart, and they realize they're like, "Oh, I'm not that good after all. There's someone else better." And happens to be named JJ.
Oh,
So I'm up for a challenge. You got to call out the go kart.
that's right. So if you ever take a JJ class or you're hosting JJ, two
Take me to
ways,
go-kart.
2 ways to make him happy: food and go karts.
100%.
Got to
Yeah.
100%.
bookend the class with the go-kart.
I was about to say next year. I feel like we're gonna have to make this happen. There's actually
We should
one
do.
where I live.
Oh, okay.
That's got it's not a 2-level track
don't
like the
care.
one
I
we
don't
raced,
care.
but it's huge, bro. It's like 2 whole warehouses full of tracks.
This would actually be kind of fucking
It's
cool to do
huge.
if we all went and did that. That'd be super fun.
Yeah, 100%. It's so much fun. And it's just kind of, people realize like an Asian can drive too. I'm undefeated in go-karting. So I would love to. Apparently, there's a couple of shooters out there that claim they're really good too. Well,
Okay.
everyone always says. Remember that guy? So you weren't there for the second time we went. 'Cause
No.
Sal and I came back. And we ran into the Canik team, and there was one guy from Turkey. I forgot his name. Niels was there. Nick Evans was there, and Evans is hilarious. A big freaking dude just like you.
He's taller than I am.
Yes, he's a
I hadn't
big
met him
freaking
until IDPA, and then I saw him again at Area 2.
Yeah,
I was like,
he's a cool dude.
I walked up, I was like, damn, bro, you bigger than me. He's an awesome dude.
Yeah, he's really cool. Super loud, super funny, and full personality. So anyway, we get there, and he's looking at me. He's like, I'm like, hey, if you guys ready, you want to get some smoke? Let's go. And then they're like, well, I don't know you win today, JJ. I said, no, let's see it. What happened? They're like, no, I don't think you win. This guy, races in Turkey and has done all his life. I'm like, oh, I've heard that before. Took off running. Oh, I was like, where's he at? Where's Candy's team at? He finally got sick of it because we kept lapping him. I lapped him once, and then by the second time, I just see him stopped in the middle of the roadway
Oh, man.
like this.
He's just waiting for you.
And then I have like a green sweatshirt. And as soon as he sees me, he looks forward and punches it. And I'm trying to get around him. And sure enough, he's sitting there going, bam, bam. And so, yeah, still, I had the fastest time nonetheless. So, yeah, it was hilarious. He was like, man, he goes, I didn't know you could move like that on the golf cart.
So, on that trip, and we'll talk a little bit about the match. So, we raced like the Beretta team, and Langdon raced two races, right?
Yeah.
And then there was a third. And one of the dudes who worked there jumped in a car.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they juiced up his car.
Oh, he paid for that, though.
I was just, see, there's the reaction I was looking for. So they juiced up his car. So homie's like just flying, like clearly has
Like
more
fucking
horsepower.
rocket fuel or
right?
some
Which,
shit.
which I was
Give him
saying,
like a
why didn't they
tube
do
or some
that when
shit?
I was in the car? Like clearly it needs it. Come on, man. No, they juiced it up. So he goes to come around the corner and JJ just sees him coming and just like baits him into it.
Oh, yeah.
Starts a little wider, and right as dude goes to go, JJ just goes boom, and homie just spins out like a straight pit maneuver, hard.
So I'm a clean race driver. A lot of people think go-karting is all about like bumping each other. I'm a clean driver because the cleaner you drive, the faster you go all the time. The more I rub, the more the slower
less
you
efficient.
become, right? So I'm a clean driver. I pass you cleanly on the corners, and I don't usually like to hit. I'll tap and stuff like that just to let you know that I'm behind you if you're really going slow and you're not giving me room. So anyway, this jackass, I set him up so hard. I went wide, so he can't go wide behind me. So he had to go inside. As soon as he goes inside, I knew that he would get wider on the turn because he got more speed than me, but I can cut in the corner. But I knew his momentum and his weight is already shifted. So I just tapped him in the side and straight up flipped around, and Sal was right behind me, so it was perfect. So as soon as I flipped him and Sal, we got bounced all over the place. His car stopped moving. We kept winning. I'm like, still a win, buddy. Don't show up in no race with the freaking juiced up car.
That's right.
Trying to make us look bad.
So what did you think of that match, man? And you said you only shot nationals this year. So how did you even prepare for a match like that?
Production nationals was our preparation for that, basically, right? It was like the week before. So we shot production nationals. I got home one day and drew circles on the target, and then like I'm just gonna shoot at that circle. So the good thing about IDPA is that you don't have to be as fast. You don't have to push your speed as much. Especially if you come from USPSA side, you already kind of mostly have the speed. You just have to kind of understand and learn the game and the rules and some small nuances of scoring. And so that was it. So I just knew that I just have to see my sights a little better, be a little crisper with my trigger. And since we just came from that sniper challenge at Handgun Nationals, it wasn't all that hard to we just did a lot of reps on it, right? So practicing it was just changing the mindset of going, all right, I'm just going to be a little bit more accurate on this. And man, the first freaking stage of IDPA, I was like first shooter on the run, on the line. I get up there, and I'm not thinking much. I'm like, all right, two to body, one in the head, two to body, one in the head. I think was the first trace, and then reload strong hand or something.
Yep.
I went two to the body, one in the head, two to the body, over prepped the head, and sent one right over the head. It hit, but it didn't hit the head. Does that make sense? They clipped it, and immediately they were like, yep, you got a mic. And as I'm walking back, the guy was like, that's not how you want to start the world championships. And I'm like, damn, this is a world. I forgot. Like, this is embarrassing. Like, I throw a mic, and everyone's like, I'm just going to shoot clean and all that stuff. And yeah, Nils and Sal crushed that stage. I'm like, well, I'm at least 5 seconds behind. I got to make up somewhere.
Yeah, that was that. So if you don't know, if you've never shot IDP, they do a warm up and a cool down at every like major match like that. So it's basically a stand and deliver. I don't know how else to put it, right?
Yeah.
So this one was 2 targets, and it was draw, freestyle, 2 to the body, 1 to the head on each target, reload, and then strong hand only. Was it
strong hand only?
It was strong hand only, right? Yeah. 2 to the body, 1 to the head. But they were covered by T-shirts.
Yeah, that's true.
So you shoot through the T-shirts, right?
Yeah.
So or you shoot all head box, but you got to shoot the body
On the turtle shells, yeah?
Yeah. So
Not turtle shells.
the same one.
The circle ones, the IDPA targets,
Yeah, because it's
no turtle shells are
the
different.
humanoid
Different. Oh,
ones.
okay. Okay.
Humanoid ones just with the 8-inch like pie plate circle in the middle, right? Yeah.
Okay, so I got you.
The IDPA targets.
Yeah.
So then you're guessing like which part of the T-shirt is which. So I've been practicing shoot small spots. Well, I shot a real small spot on the T-shirt. That was exactly 1 inch below the bottom of the circle. Walked out there, my grouping, they were touching. I was like, oh, I killed that. They pull it down 2 seconds. I was like, oh,
It hurts.
It hurts in a match like that.
Even worse when you get a miss.
Yeah, he's all.
Yeah. How'd you do the flashlight stage?
Not bad. It's pretty good. I think I did. That was one of the first ones I did a tactical reload where you retain the magazine. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's what they call it there. Retain the magazine instead of dropping it because you couldn't, right? So I just dropped the mag on my way up, grabbed the reload, grabbed the next. Oh no, I shot the other side of it, got inside, turned on the flashlight, and all that stuff. So what I forget since I don't do low light, I don't do any of that stuff. I used to do it in the government, but I didn't go with the increased offset, right? I was planning on flooding the room, but I went right into here, which is my standard go-to, whatever it is, because it's easy to pivot.
Like a chin index, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's easy index. It's a consistent platform, and I can track my sights. Well, the problem with that is it's like shooting low light for the first time with a flashlight, weapon-mounted flashlight. The first shot is full of smoke, and you are backlighting that smoke, and you kind of not see it. And that's basically what I did. I backlit everything, and I was like, holy cow, there's smoke. And now I'm trying to look through the window, and I can't see anything but a red dot, but I can't see on a target. So I had to like make an adjustment and do all this. And then as I shot each target, I got lower and lower. By the time I got to the last target, I had to stand back up in order for me to see it again. And I remember by the time I got there, I was shooting iron sights. So I'm like looking at my sights, and I'm like, man, I see three things, but I have the flashlight facing up now because I just want to flood the room instead of like a direct beam. I see three things. I fire, and I'm like, I don't even think that's my fiber optics. And I realized, I'm like, let me flash it down so it glows. As soon as I do this, it's literally my two rear sight and my front sight.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh my God, I just shot the penalty target twice.
Fuck.
And I'm like, oh, let me adjust it. I'm at 1, 2. And then as soon as I was done, I like flashed it on the penalty target. I'm like, I don't see any hits. I'm like, but how bad was that miss? I didn't see that. But anyway, yeah, it was, because it was like one of these,
like
and by the time I reached, I did this with the reach, and I'm just like in an awkward position now since I was all standing. So I had this movement instead of this. And as simple as turning your hand an inch to the left, it threw the front sight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, I always made fun of students that did that, and I'm like, well, that was me.
Yeah. To me, that was the stage that might have embodied that and all the reloads. Reloads to me are the biggest difference between USPSA and IDPA. That was probably the stage that embodies the difference between the two the most. Yeah. It's that one and the shovel one. I told my story.
Was the shovel as a prop?
So you had to start with the shovel. And here's the other thing about IDPA. Every stage is a scenario, right? And
so you're in your bedroom.
Yeah.
And then the man comes. Yeah, with the shovel. So you're burying your wife.
You're out front gardening when you're attacked by a group of gang members. Like, I'm not making this up. This is actually what it said.
Fishing vest because you're always wearing it.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Because we're concealed.
Yeah.
But I told JJ this one yesterday. So it happened to be that when I shot it, the RO goes, so I asked him, I was like, really? This is like this scenario? He's like, yeah, man. You're out front gardening, and there's a group of MS-13 that roll up on you. And I was like, oh, you had to go there, dog. Yeah. It's like, to the one Hispanic shooting this whole match, you got to go and ask me. Like, yeah, it was.
The MS-13's coming.
It was comedy, man. It was comedy.
Isn't that mean gangster?
The 90s called Want Their Gang Bag.
Yeah. He's watched too much 48 Hours.
Yeah.
Something like that.
All them Chris Blanchard specials and shit.
But a challenging match. So
it is.
I'll ask, challenging. There was a lot of distance headshots with what they call them non-threats. Am I saying that right? Or is
non-threats?
Yeah, I call them no-shoots, but non-threats in front of them, right? Yeah, I call them a lot of them at distance. Yeah. So you referenced Handgun Nationals, which was initially Iron Sights Nationals, but they tagged on limited optics late because they weren't sold out. And I get it. I get the business side of it. I heard that was a really difficult match, too. Want to talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah, that was really hard. The stage, per se, wasn't hard. Basically, they could have, no disrespect, right? But they basically could have, because the targets were so hard and far away, they could have eliminated a lot of the walls and basically just give us boxes because we couldn't really move and shoot or come into position. Sure. We had to run into spots and shoot at targets. Right, and we just had a whole bunch of vision barriers. So that was like the main theme. It's like, man, we just kind of have to run over here, stand still, shoot a couple targets, and then move over a little 2 steps, shoot a couple targets and stuff like that. So it was really it was really, really hard in regards to just being able to do what you'd like to do, being an more action type shooting. That one was more of a stand and still type of shooting, and I think that was more suited for either PCC or open, and not quite iron sights. Iron sights was really tough, and especially with 10 rounds, and that wasn't going well, right? So that was really the hard part about that match. But what we kept just looking at was that I know Niels and I were looking at it as like, hey, we're going to be competing at ADPA next week. Might as well work on our accuracy now during the match, which you never want to really do. But we were just trying to see how well is our execution, how well is am I pulling the trigger, how good am I seeing the sights, and small little adjustments throughout. In which it was kind of funny that Sal was leading, but then Sal ended up getting DQ'd in the match, and so Niels and I kind of were right behind each other, and we kind of just separated ourselves from the rest. I think Niels and I, even though Niels and I at the end, they were separated by like 60 points. Like he took over the match at the end. And it was one of those cool things to see that he was very well prepared, and I wasn't, obviously. But watching him, even though if I applied pressure or did something that would be good enough to get some points from him, what I started to see was him just lifting himself to the next level, and all I had to literally do was sit back and enjoy like the ass whooping that I was getting. I'm like, man, he just took it to the next level. I did this good, he did this better, right? Like I remember the second day. If you have a day like I did in nationals, if you have a day that's like second, third, fourth, and I think stage win, if that's your day, you'll come out of there winning the match, or if not leading, right? I had that day on second day, and Nils was the only one was first. I was second. He was first. And the one I was third, he was fourth. That was the only stage I beat him by like 5 points. And every other thing was like he was just in front of me. And I'm like, how do you? You can't do anything about that, right? And then that could only mess me up, right? But then, so the last day, I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go to full throttle. I think there was a pretty big gap between second place and third place at that point. There was maybe 60 or 90 points or something like that. So it was a big gap. So I was like, you know what, let me throttle up. And I don't think I'm going to fall too far back anymore. So let me see if I can catch Nils, because Nils was about 35 points going to the last day. First stage of the last day, he gets a mic, but shoots fairly well. I shoot clean, but I had a delta or something like that. So I tried to take advantage of the mic, 15 points, and I wanted to get like 20. Instead of just grabbing 15 and going down to like 20 points going to the last 6 stages, I was like, you know what, let's capitalize on this. This is a stage where he had pickup shots on popper, clean those, I'm going to push some movement and stuff like that. I tried to push it. I ended up dropping a few more points than him. Clean run. I was about a second faster than him, and only was able to take advantage of like 12 points instead of like the whole 15. So from 35, it went down to like 20-ish, and then the rest of the match, he freaking turned it on. It was just, I was like, wow, this is cool to see. And it's cool because he's one of my good friends, so I'm like, I can only appreciate this. That's what I aspire to be. I want to be able to do well as well one day, that hopefully I'll be trained well enough, and I'll be ready, and I'll be doing the same thing to him, because it's all ebbs and flows, right? You take the win, you take the loss, and stuff like that. So yeah, I took a second place on that one, and going back to IDPA, it was the same exact thing. Down 13 seconds after the first day, and then I go into the second day. After a couple of stages, we were basically like practically tied, or I took a little bit of the lead or something like that. He had a penalty. He didn't have such a good run, and I crushed the first 3 stages, and was able to take the lead. And then I make a stupid mistake. I shoot through a target, hitting no shoot, which is in USPSA, I guess that's a reshoot, but in IDPA, that's not. And so that's a big mistake. So I got like plus 10 seconds on my time. Man. And then the next stage, I drop a mag, reload untimely, and plus 3 seconds again. And I'm like, oh my God. Fuck. It just kept adding. So I'm like, that was with like last 3 stages left. I was like, this is just horrible. So I think he ended up winning by like 15. So it was painful, but it was Niels again winning. And then just me watching him just crush the last couple of stages. That was how my last couple matches ended. Sad.
Not the 2023 you were looking for,
no,
but that's okay.
Not.
So
because of the class load, that was
maybe
this was your largest class load to date, or one of the bigger ones you've taken.
One of the biggest,
right?
one of the biggest.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you didn't leave much time for yourself to do, because a couple people hit me up, like, yo, man, what's up with JJ, man? He's not winning. I was like, shit, I don't know, man. He just won world. Maybe he wanted to chill out a little bit. Do we want to spend time with his family? What the fuck?
There was definitely something to do with that. So when I won worlds, I felt very confident after that. I won worlds. I did really well there. I felt good, and I shot well. I felt really connected with the gun. Went to Caribbean Open. Niels and I had a heads up match over there, And I fell off a little bit by like 40 points because I fell off the stage and I got like a penalty and all this stuff and delayed in time, 6 seconds slower. So I got like 30 points down, and then I was able to still win that match, but like I think I ended up 40 or 50 points. I felt really good. My shooting in the beginning of the year felt really good. And then I started to teach, and I told my wife, I was like, hey, this year we won't shoot as much. I think I'm going to be able to carry this momentum. I should be okay. Optics happens in June, so I shouldn't be too far off from where I'm at. And then, man, what a freaking difference when 4 months later, 5 months later, can go with when you don't train as much. You just start traveling left and right. And I think I had a lot of little military training, law enforcement training in there, and then so those are like weekly at a time, so it takes a long time, a lot of time away. And so when I got back for Optics, I had like 5 days of training, so I was like, oh, let me train for 5 days, should be able to get it right. And even my dad the whole time was like, I'm not comfortable with you're shooting better, but I'm not comfortable with the way you shot or you're shooting. Same exact thing.
Right, your performance.
Yeah, he knows when I'm on point versus when I'm not. And so he was saying, he's like, yeah, I don't like it. And then, but you know, he's my dad, and so he would know. And I'm in my head, I got to do my self-talk. I'm like, I feel good. I'll just manage myself. There'll be an elevated performance in the match. And kind of like one of those false hopes that you can convince yourself that I do better at matches and stuff like that. And you show up to the match and you're just a step off. And it's just a frustrating thing, but it's like one of those it is what it is. The card I dealt myself with, and just deal with it and kind of move forward.
So I'm guessing next year class load probably not as heavy. You get more time.
We're trying to, yes. Yeah, I'd like to.
Or finding the balance.
Finding the balance is the key. Yeah, I definitely would like. Jess and I were talking about it, and that was a conversation Mo and I had. We're maybe doing.
28.
Yeah,
20.
Did it again.
Did it again.
28.
Jarrod and I.
Just killing me over here.
So
Yo, I think it's kind of weird. Fucking JC be thinking about me this goddamn much, bro.
He love you, dog.
I know. What the hell?
Feed him, bro.
He fed me. That's why.
Yeah,
I know where I messed up.
Fuck that. Y'all need to Venmo me that shit
That's
back,
right.
man. I ain't paying this motherfucking bill.
That's right. He fed me for the last 4 days. All the bills got higher. Write it off, Mo. Jarrod and I were talking. My wife and I were discussing. It's like, hey, next year I would love to focus more a little bit and shoot maybe at least once a month a match. And so I would love to shoot more area. This year I didn't shoot one single area match. I didn't shoot a single sectional match. I didn't shoot any state matches. I didn't nationals. I think I shot Dragons Cup, Caribbean Open, and then I think national, and World IDPA. And then I did an IPSC Nationals at the end there to qualify, to try to qualify and get some points. So anyway, that was my year. So next year we're trying to shoot one match a month per se, and then she was thinking about maybe 1 or 2 classes per month max, and so that will dwindle from like 80 or so to like somewhere between 12 to 24 classes next year to focus a little bit more on shooting, my growth and stuff like that, because she sees that winning fills my cup because it allows for me to be able to self-develop. So that the titles and all that stuff just kind of comes in hand, but it's just a result of what I do. But if I can start to grow in shooting, I feel better about my overall self and performance and being able to teach. Right. And then teaching as well as allows for me to be able to go, here, this is what I didn't fix this year. That would be my time to research. I didn't have many of that this year. A lot of it was just polishing my ability to communicate the concept.
Well, in that, I thought you did a great job the last 2 days, and I'm really looking forward to the next 2. But this is sort of an interesting bridge, because one of the conversations that a student in today's class and I had with you after class was, so he's another high-level shooter, right? And so I've been trying to collect guys locally that could push me.
Yeah, sure.
Because we all want to, right? We all want to get better.
Dan?
We want to go. Yeah, talking about Dan.
Yep. Dan, homie at ZI Shoots.
Yeah. And so he made a comment. He's like, yeah, we could watch each other's runs and coach each other. And JJ's like, nah, fam. That's not how you train together. And so I have to imagine that that's a little bit here too, right? Is sort of, I think people, it's a common joke. If you don't want to shoot, teach. Right? It makes it tough. But I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. Do you find that you've got those training partners now, or does it become more difficult with the load of classes and those pieces?
So I have a training partner, a friend, but I'm very choosy or picky, I guess, per se. My dad is as well. I'm a lot more loose than my dad, but my dad's the one that kind of regulates that a little bit. Because I'm always, there's so many people, when I go to the range, so many people go, hey man, I'd love to shoot with you one day and join your shoot. And it's so hard for me to say no, because I don't want to be rude to anyone or anything like that. I'm like, I guess you can do, but you might not get an official invite ever. I'm just like, maybe yeah. And then I'm like, well, and then finally one day someone was like, hey dude, he goes, you know what? Someone asked you if they can shoot with you. Can you ask them if you can write a few emails at their workplace someday. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, just ask them if you can visit them and shadow them at work and respond to a couple emails when they write a couple emails, or go to court for them if they're lawyers. And I'm like, why would I do that? He's like, because that's what they're freaking doing. That's your work, right? Range is my work. A lot of people think range is their leisure time and all that stuff. That's where I work. So I'm in there focused on doing my thing. So I'm like, I never looked at it that way. That's why I always felt a little bit off when people ask me.
Let me go arrest some motherfuckers for you guys.
So no police officers usually ask me, right? But one of my good training partners is a law enforcement officer. He's a solid dude. And the reason why I like shooting with him is that there's not a lot of questions, right? When I'm training, I'm not there to teach. I'm there to self-develop, and I'm there to self-diagnose, and I'm there to try to, without doing it, I'm there to try to outdo you in everything that you do.
Snatch souls, brother.
Right. Yeah.
You say that's what I'm there for too.
So this guy's a really accurate shooter. I love it. His ability to able to pull a trigger, which I like because that exposes my weaknesses right now. Even though it was good, this year was really bad at pulling trigger because I wanted to work on speed. I wanted to get faster. And so I lost the connection with me and the trigger. So it was easy to lose it because I was still learning the gun and I wanted to get to the sexy stuff right away. So I should have, that was just one of those lesson learned type stuff. So Ramos is one of the guys that I train with. He's really good at connecting a trigger, controlling shots, and I'm really good at stuff, speed and efficiency stuff. So it's cool to have us mix, and then I watch him shoot, and it's infectious. Essentially, we're not talking to each other, we're not training each other, but afterwards we break each other apart. Like, hey, dude, this is what you did today. This is the reason why you did this. I think you should try this on the next training session. But during the training, it's like, hey, we're gonna shoot that target, that target, that target. All right, run it. Ready, stand by, beep, and then. Your time is this, what's your hits? Okay, cool. I'm going to run it. And if I have a good time, and I'll yell it out. Like, well, my time was this, and I hit this. But if my time is bad, I don't say shit. But no, it's a really good understanding between him and I both. Sometimes I'll get training partners that I'm like, oh, this guy's a GM or whatever. And I'm like, let me just have him come shoot with me because then I need a GM guy shoot with me. And then it's like, hey, I don't understand what we're doing. Like, you're going to shoot there, shoot this? I'm like, yeah, but what are we working on? We're working on execution, working on shooting. Just, you should know where we're going with this. Just shoot. Okay, we'll break it down later. Okay, I don't understand. Hey, can I? And then there's like too many walkthroughs. I'm like, bro, I got an hour. I was like, I got an hour on the range. I cannot sit here and take your 2 minutes to freaking memorize.
Fucking about.
Yeah, the sequence. I was like, just shoot. If you're not ready, I'm jumping right back on there. And so it ends up like I have this negative feeling. I'm no longer working on myself, and now I'm just like trying to get reps in because you're taking your sweet old that time, and I'm as fast as I can load. It's no longer like I'm trying to deliver it and shoot shots and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a balance, right? So yeah, it's I don't want to teach when I'm training with people, when I'm practicing, but when I'm teaching, I don't really want to shoot either. Like I don't want to disturb the class. I don't want to disturb. I take away from them because when I start shooting, it automatically goes back to like what I want to do and stuff like that. So that's why I gave you guys the advice. Like, hey, we can talk it out. I'm like, you guys got to be careful that when you guys are shooting and practicing together, you're there to practice, not teach. You will teach and you will observe and you'll do self-diagnostics. You will observe what other people are doing better than you, and then you will take that as information for maybe later use or now make your adjustments as you progress through shooting. After you're done with that, you do your after action report during lunch and you break it down with each other. Then you go back over there and then work on the next particular whatever you want to do, right? You can go back on the second afternoon and go, all right, let's work on this specific thing. I was weak on this if you guys have a 2-a-days or whatever it may be. I think that's very important in regards to progress. I think that's super key.
I agree. I think so I appreciate the balance you bring, right? Because it's true. One of the things that I've told you before, and I think you guys have all seen it too. So there's that there's a saying in the training world, right, where everybody says demo everything, right? Yeah. So one of the ways you demo is to have students shoot it instead and then fix them right there in the moment to sort of show if it works right now, right? Which is cool. So to me, that's the total opposite of how you train, which is cool because that's the balance, right? Yeah. I love helping people get better. That's what we at Raven Wing want to do. We want to bring great instructors like you out here. We want to help people get better. That's why we do the podcast. We hope you listen to this and it frames the way you think about the way you train or do something different, right?
Don't bring no bullets up in Thailand. or out of Thailand.
And if JJ's in town, go-karts and food. But Yeah, sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish, right? But I think it's, one, awesome to see that balance in you, but two, that's how you get better, because it's about self-development. And if I'm constantly focused on other people, I hit a point of stagnation, or I hit a plateau, and it's hard to push through.
You're not focused.
Yeah.
You're not focused.
Yep.
Yeah. The biggest thing for me in my classes where I let my students demo is because I'm very far along in my shooting career now. I've been shooting for a long time. I can tweak my shooting up or down and convince you one concept is better than the other, even though it's not. But if I have a student that's never done the demo or concept before and ask him to do it, and then I ask the other students to observe whether they can do it or not, they can immediately notice what I'm looking for. And once I see it, I will always measure it in either my timer or the cardboard to let the shooters see the difference. And everything I ever say, don't shoot. I never say slow down. I always tell them, do it faster, see what happens. And then either their accuracy starts to disappear and their time starts to go faster, or they do the opposite. They start off like shit, and then they have a fast time right away. So I'm always like, all right, what do we do to make that better? And then it's up to them to whatever better is. And then I'll start making that adjustment. And the second I make that adjustment, it allows for the other students. That's where I demo my instructing skills, basically, right? So it allows for the other students to be able to see live adjustments, and within 1 or 2 reps, there's an immediate change or influence on their target or on the timer, if not both. And then immediately it's like, all right, I just sold. So now I just help connect that to everyone right here for this particular shooter. One, you'll see the shooter going, holy cow, the light bulb turned on in front of everyone. And then everyone also is going, holy cow, within a few reps, he was able to make that much of a difference for this particular shooter. So it prevents me from going, all right, guys, I'm going to do this one bad, and I want you guys to see the difference in time. And then here, I'm going to do it good, right? And it's like, okay, cool, that works, that makes sense, but that's not real shooting. I think if someone's actually doing it bad, why not help the guy out? And if your concept is good, why not? Why doesn't it work right now? If you can talk and coach the shooter, per se, right? And then show the timer and show the hits on target. So that's how I do it. But there are certain demos that I will demo for sure. Like the movement demos, I'll do a lot of that, right? But this time around, I was so spoiled. I had you, I had Dan, I had a couple other good shooters that I was like, I'm going to pick you guys to demo for me. And then I'll have you step into the class. I'm like, can you run this class for me? And then I'll just listen to the way you communicate it and talk and stuff like that. And that allowed for me to be able to sit back and just observe and just watch people's reaction to the things that you say and stuff like that. And it doesn't take away from the class, because if there's something that you say, I'm not going to be like, hey, dude, you fucked that up. I'm just going to do this. No, I'm just going to be like, okay, cool, let me add something. Like, this is how I would do this, and this is the approach that I would do, yada, yada, yada. That was a good way to do it. But it's always a compliment sandwich or something like that, you know?
Yeah. No, it's different than I think what we see in a lot of places, and I think the students receive it well.
I would say it's anywhere.
And it's super cool, but unfortunately, I don't think we're at a place where we can replicate it yet. Because I really like that way, because it's kind of like the student go, well, of course you can fucking do it. You're XYZ and shit. But it's like, no, man, like, you do it, motherfucker. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, I can do it. Like, all right, relax.
Yeah. I used to get that all the time. It's like, oh, well, when you do it, of course you got it, because you mastered this. And I'm like, no. It's like, you can do it too. Let's just walk you through. And then I remember seeing a difference. And I was like, holy cow, thanks for doing that. Like, that opened my eyes. I'm like, why don't I do this in front of everyone? So I'd bring everyone. But now I'm like, man, it's too late. I already fixed them. So I'm like, let me grab somebody else. And then it's like, man, that's a much better impact. I can see this. And I'm fortunate enough also that I built a name in the industry. Kind of, it's weird to say that. I hate saying that, actually. Kind of made me feel weird just saying that. But I've had a good reputation in the shooting industry.
Says the guy with a sweatshirt, his own pants, his own competitive belt. The man had his name on every part of his body today.
I had to roll up to him and grab the pants. I was like, yo, man, is this that new Barry jacuzzi line? Like, what's up with this, man? What the fuck's my parent, bro? You staying at the house, bro? What's up, man?
It's really nice. It's really comfortable. So, what do you call that? It's I have like a record.
You have a brand.
I've worked on a couple. I've won a couple of titles, so it allows for me to be able to
only a couple.
No. But I can sit back and go, I have nothing to prove to you guys. I'm here to teach you guys, and that's all my job is, to help. I'm not here to shoot as much as you. My job is to sit back and coach. Every time I feel like I pull the trigger, I feel like I've taken away from the class, unless it's a direct repetition that I need, or a demo that I need to make it happen and make it look a certain way or sound a certain way, right? And that's the only time when I really stepped in. I go, this is a really advanced, high-level technique. I'm going to do this because I'm going to show you guys the difference of what happens versus when you don't do it versus when you do, and how it looks. So when you see it, your awareness level goes up, and now you can. I hope that you can now connect that with your own body and your own shooting.
Yep. So we've talked about this in the past, right? Vets, your instructors.
Yeah.
I think these are those kind of conversations where you're looking for, how do they do things? Why do they do things? Where does it play in? I mean, it doesn't hurt that, you the champ. But
I have that belt.
That's what we had last
It is posted on the wall. It's
Dude,
forever
I was
there.
hoping you would just wear that around SHOT Show last year. Just walking around, hey, man. Nils, what's up, man? Just walk around with that shit. Just stand up on primary arms like you the Rocky and shit.
It is the only. So I have, I obviously have a collection of trophies, but most of them are on the ground or in the garbage bag, right? None of them are in the house presented. None of them, even the World Championship trophies, in like the corner in the back corner. The medals are sitting but it's in the bottom. You can't even tell what they are. None of them. I don't have anything at all that's sitting outside of my house. So it's all in the garage, either in the garbage bag or on the floor. That's the only thing posted up high in front of me to look at and go, cool. But here's the funny thing that no one knows. Up top is, that belt. When I look down is the time when I lost to Nils, Production Nationals, second little trophy. And I put that there because it's the shittiest little
Tackling
trophy
fuel
that I get. And I go, I look up and I go, that's awesome. And I look down and I go, fuck you. We got to train harder.
Yeah.
Right? There's someone better. There's someone hungrier. And all right, let's try to do what we can.
Losing is a big part of life, right?
Yeah.
And then how you kind of, how you pick yourself up again and proceed forward is like a big thing, especially throughout your career. Because I remember you were telling, I don't know, it was a class today or yesterday that like, oh man, I've had my share of losses, and I think that's kind of like, it's always important for like Mike Tyson talks about it a lot too, and sure, it's just one of those things like, dude, just because you're champion, like, ain't nobody fucking undefeated. Yeah. If that motherfucker undefeated, he probably ain't fought shit.
Eric.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Unless Eric Fell is basically the fucking MJ of the fucking sport and shit, right? But for the most part, it's kind of like you're gonna have to take your losses. That's just life and shit. Right? People think like, oh, you the champion, you must be undefeated. It's like, no, like you probably lost more than you won, right?
Yeah, I have, and that's the greatest thing about it is that it humbles you, right? Humility definitely comes about when you're like, when you're not so untouchable, and then it makes you hungrier, right? Or either that, or you shy away from it now. Like, hey, I just lost. I don't want to do this as hard. I don't want to try as hard because my effort isn't really showing anymore. No, to me, my hate for losing drives me more than my love for winning. So that's, to me, I literally go out there. But I'm not afraid to lose. I go out there and risk it all the time. I could care less. Like, I'll shoot a random match even if I'm not ready. I'm going to do my best. If someone beats me, I'm like, cool, good on you. I'll see you at Nationals, right? It's just another one of those things that's...
Nope. You got JJ, 1-0. You never see me again.
I was about to say.
1-0. You never see me again. What's that? Oh, you won champion? Whatever. 1-0.
There's a guy out there talking that.
1-0. Counter-Strike, bitches. Never beat me again.
There's a guy in DHS saying, oh, yeah, beat JJ back time in a drill one time we did it. I'm like, oh, it's all good. It's all part of life.
Well, champ, we're glad you're back, man. It's been informative. We're looking forward to the next 2 days. We hope in your much limited class schedule next year we get a chance to host you, bro.
This is a guarantee.
Yeah, we'll keep feeding you good, we promise. And I'll get you hooked up with the go-karts.
Yeah, we got to do the go-kart.
Honestly, like, please, that would be so much fucking fun.
They're about 7 minutes from my house. They're like right there. So
how far are you from here?
From here, like an hour. It's about an hour. This time of night. But from the range, it's only 40 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
So we could go.
It's a bit, man, dude. We gotta go.
We could go do go-karts. We could catch a dinner, and then you guys could drive home. You can sleep on Mo drives. Yeah, we'll take you.
He'll probably sleep with me.
Most likely.
This motherfucker did that shit that day, man. I fucking looked over. He's like,
I know.
I'm trying not to sleep because I want to be a good passenger.
At least he calls you by your right name.
He can't forget it.
Not at all. No, champ, we love having you back, man. It's great to see you. Love having you out here. I don't know, Ethan, Mo, you guys got any other questions for the champ before we let him go?
Nah, man, I'm stuck with this motherfucker for like 5 days.
Yeah, well, JJ, I know you've been doing some work with other companies, so before we let them go, how do they find you? Anything you want to shout out?
Team AC Design. Pay attention to them. We're coming out with some really awesome design.
Sean. Sean Guo.
Yeah.
Right? Used to be a shooter here in SoCal.
Yeah. He's in Texas now. He moved
you moved to America. Congratulations.
Yeah. So,
congratulations. I too hope
got
to move to America.
A solid team of engineers, hungry guys, very innovative, coming up with some really slick design, enforcing pushing the technology and the innovation of followers, base pads, springs, and stuff like that. And it's amazing the work that they've done. So we partnered up, and I'm really excited for where this is going to go. That's a big thing for me this year. Obviously, Beretta, Seymour, and all these other you guys on primary arms. Those are my standard and stuff like that, which is just nice. So I would love for you guys, if you guys are going to be at SHOT Show, I'll see you at SHOT Show.
Yeah,
We'll be there. We're supposed to go eat lunch Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
We're doing
taking you to go eat giant burritos.
food tour of Vegas.
The one thing that I believe will defeat JJ.racaza outright.
That fucking
Saitas,
burrito.
man, giant burritos.
But I'm not eating it by myself.
No, you're not eating it by yourself.
I was gonna say, oh my God, dang.
We're all going to eat it together.
No, we're all gonna sit and watch you eat the first half.
Like,
and you're
we're going to see how much you can eat, and
I
then
can't
we'll
eat
take
anymore.
over and
Okay,
shit.
and then the other.
There's like this
fucking-
much left.
$100 burritos. Jeez.
Wait, it's $100?
I don't know, whatever.
I don't know.
Oh my god!
It's got to be.
Yeah,
It feeds like 5 or 8
dude,
people.
the one. Dude,
Oh, you're talking about the huge one. You gonna make this poor man eat that whole
No,
thing?
like we're all gonna order it because
okay,
we're all
okay.
there, like the Canadians.
Jeez.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, because I talked to Reston. Reston wants to meet us there, and I know Heather wants to hang out with us, right? So I mean, Jedi's coming too. So
Yeah.
Should
Okay.
be able to
All
do
right. Yeah. We got the
It'll be a
fucking giant
decent
thing.
guy, right?
Yeah. It'll be a good
It'll
time.
be a decent call. So yeah, we'll see you at SHOT Show for
Yes,
sure.
sir. Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, everybody, if you, I guess one more thing. With the limited class schedule next year, if people want to train with you, how do they do that?
jessica.racaza@yahoo.com. That's really the best way to do it. Once in a while, I don't even get to make an announcement. Jess will just put it out on the
Yeah.
yeah, which is really, I mean, man, I don't
like we'll get the emails that Jess sends out, and then I'll just blast it out to whoever's on our email list, and then
I agree.
good luck.
It's-
Luck
yeah.
in battle, boy.
It's a blessing. I can't even imagine how this life turned out to the way it is. But with that said, sometimes once in a while, I forgot it was jjracazatraining.com opens once in a while, and that's just because we have 3 classes we added, and it'll be open for like 3 or 4 days, and then once it's full, we take it down because we don't want to have any other inquiries or any other people false hope of getting to sign up.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
we end up having to refund people and stuff like that. So anyway, that's that.
Okay. Ethan, I know we got, I think this is our last class of the year, isn't it? With JJ?
With JJ, I believe
Yeah,
so.
this is the last class we're doing either on our own or hosting.
Or
for the rest of
hosting.
it. We are
Yeah.
fucking done for the year, and
That's
then we're
awesome.
2023
Yeah.
is
then
over.
So-
2024. We kick it off with Legend.
So 2024
Rob
time.
Vogel.
So first up for 2024 is Real Speed Pistol with Bob Vogel. That is January 6th at Lopez. Then
It's
right
probably
after that,
sold out already.
yeah, right after that
you in town?
is,
You two are not allowed in the same room at the same time with me, bro.
We are not.
No.
why?
Because the last time these two were in the same room at the same time, I ended up at the hospital.
After that on Saturday,
Now, I'll never
January
forget JJ's
20th.
face looking at me like, "Is this happening?" I was like, "Yeah, motherfucker, you got him by the leg, bro. This is happening, man."
I know.
We have Performance Pistol 1 on Saturday, January the 20th. Then February 3rd, we have Velix coming out for his practical pistol
February's
rifle
fucking
applications.
packed, bro.
And Run Your Gun, Not Your Mouth on the
With
10th
Fabio.
of February with
Yep.
Fabio. Performance
then-
Handgun 2, Saturday, March the 2nd. And then we got Brian. Injured but not
you also
out.
skipped over Jedi, and then we have.
We don't have him on our things because it's fucking. There's no point. There's no point in talking about.
and
it.
Donovan. That's probably filled out too. Donovan at the end of February.
Oh, I didn't have
Yeah,
that on here.
it's probably filled out already.
Probably. But Injured but not out with Slytac, the man himself, Brian Velez.
Which, let me double click on this one real quick.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be here this weekend, and he was supposed to shoot JJ's class with
Screw
us.
all y'all motherfuckers out there. I'm
So
looking
for
at
our first
the
one,
cameras.
we're looking
God
at
damn
you.
it.
Listen, it takes work to get people here that are quality instructors, and it takes time and effort, and they are taking time
How
out.
you not gonna want to train with a
I-
little
I was
Mexican
about to
ninja,
say-
bro?
Dude, this man, the king of funny lights. No, seriously,
Dude, for real.
Brian's a great human being, does a phenomenal job with translating the world that he comes
Yes.
from in LE into application for civilians.
Hands down, like, I don't know. You've taken like a bajillion more classes than me, but all the different shit that I've been through, all the different classes I've taken, Brian has one of the best, like, tactical sort of oriented classes that like I've
Nope,
ever.
NRA
fucking-
basic hand instructor. That's the
There you
best
go.
one I've
I
taken.
knew you were fucking. I looked this motherfucker in the eye, and I could tell something was creeping out his
knew it
ass.
was
He was
coming.
like, "I'm gonna say something dumb," but yeah, Brian, he
Why don't you
the
bring back
data,
Weaver stance, JJ?
the information that this guy has, the data points that he he's watching all the different officer involved shootings across the country all the time, trying to get as much data as possible, and he puts out one of the, even if you don't want to call it tactical or whatever the fuck, like just like reality-based classes. One of the best reality-based, like
It's all force on force. Yep.
This is how you fucking fight, and this is how you're gonna win.
Yep. You think your shit's hot?
Like,
Okay, let's find out.
Through data and and then fucking put it out on the street.
Let's shoot each other with
fake
fucking
street
UTMs.
in Covered 6. Shout outs to the homies, and see if your bullshit actually stands up to actual fucking shit.
I think that's why a lot of
You know.
y'all fucking bitched out and shit.
So
I didn't want to find out your
you
shit was
motherfuckers
booty.
out there, and I'm looking at you.
These guys.
You fucked up. Sign up for the contact
JJ's
classes.
like, "Man, we about to fight."
Yeah, you tell him, JJ. Tell him, champ. You looking right there. You tell him. Sign up for Brian Velez.
Oh yeah, Brian's good, dude. Yeah,
You
sign up for Brian. He's got an OnlyFans too, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
Sign up for that too. Subscribe.
fuck this.
Sorry, that was good, Champ. That was good. All right, so that's 2024. A couple other things that we continue to do in the evolution of our curriculum. So we introduced Performance Carbine 2 this year, and
yes.
we have done 2 of them here in the latter half of the year with phenomenal feedback.
We've done 2.
We did one official, and then we introduced a lot of the same concepts into Intro to
my
Night
bad,
Vision,
yeah.
but still applicable. And
we just
fucking
did it
that-
under knots, which was wicked cool.
amazing fucking class, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, you should
toot my
You
own
should
horn.
Toot your own horn.
right.
So we'd love to have you guys come out to do that one. And next year we're introducing Performance Pistol 2.
Yes.
Where a couple drills from this weekend are getting rotated in. Are getting rotated in. So I took some copious notes during the class. But we're hoping, we want to help you guys get better. That's what we're here for. So you can find us at www.ravenwinglimited.com. To sign up for all of our classes. You can find us on the socials at Raven Wing Limited.
Proudly shadow banned, motherfucker.
Yeah, we are. So you got to put the whole thing in. And Mo, we got a new code for Gators eyewear now, right? Like, it's a different one. So
Raven Wing 15 gets you 15% off.
Nice.
Probably still stacks with whatever they got. So Christmas sale, you probably get like 55% off.
Nice.
Unless they kill off all the codes. Yeah. Ain't too bad.
all right. With that, we want to wish everybody here a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, a great holiday season.
And
what
if
I
you're
miss?
blood, Merry
No,
Christmas.
do we have any other codes? Like Trauma Pack and shit. They still doing.
We
our
do.
Trauma
I
Pack?
post them all in the show
they're
notes.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good,
this one's different. So
Yeah,
I had to call.
they'll all
of
be in
course-
the description.
Last but not least,
Yeah.
shouts out to Wesley for making it out and
Oh,
making our
Wesley.
first on
Hey,
the YouTube.
yeah, so-
like and subscribe, comment for the YouTube algorithm, all this
Yeah.
shit. Shout out
What
to
a
the
big
man.
miss. Yes, you
Hell
liking
yeah,
and
dude.
subscribing. This helps us a ton, really,
Yeah.
because it actually gets the information out there.
Yeah.
And 2, this is
Hope
our
you
first
guys
video
enjoyed
one, so let us, let
being
us know
able
how
to
it goes.
see us fuck around.
And if you tell us that JJ's good looking and the rest of us aren't, we know
we
this.
know
Like,
this.
be
That's
original.
not true. That's not true. That is so not fucking true, dude.
Be original. So with that, happy holidays, everybody. We appreciate you very much, and peace.
To the camera.
We out.